Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to talk about Francisco Trincao because we do have some breaking news regarding his future with FC Barcelona. And then later in this video, we are also going to be talking about Junior Firpo and the final details that have surfaced on his move to Leeds in the EPL. And then lastly, we are going to be talking about the case of Umtiti. Right now, Barcelona is trying to negotiate whether they should terminate the contract of Umtiti or find any other possibilities in order to break away the contract of this player. A lot is going on. There is a lot of movement when it comes to Barcelona letting go of these players, and this was expected. We were expecting to see Barcelona negotiate with many of these players who did not necessarily give the performance or the level that Barcelona was expecting last season. But before we do get into the daily news, I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app is considered as the best football app you could find in the App Store when it comes to the latest transfer news, the latest player stats or team stats. If you're following any competition, whether it's the Champions League, the Euros, the Copa America, the OneFootball app will be there to inform you immediately and live. And the best thing from all of this is that it is free. The OneFootball app is free. The only thing that you do have to do is go down into the link in my description box. You will be able to click that link. It'll take you straight to the App Store. Once you're in the App Store, you would be able to download it, then pick your desired team that you do want to follow, turn on the push notifications, and then you will be all set and done from there. But now, let's get back into the video. So first, we are going to be talking about Francisco Trincao. Now, like I have said, there is a lot of movement going on when it comes to this player, and many of us do want to know what is going to be happening with the future of this player, because this is a player that can reach a massive potential and a massive level with Barcelona. But we have also seen that it has not been easy for Trincao to see a lot of minutes, and especially against Ronald Koeman. And this is where the breaking news has surfaced, because it says here that there is an agreement between Wolves and Barcelona for Trincao. It'll be a season-long loan deal. Wolves will take over his wages, and there is an option to buy, but not a mandatory option to buy. The fee of the purchase option, if Wolves does decide to buy this player, will be 25 million euros. And that is the deal that Barcelona and Wolves have made. And I know, right? Where did this deal even come from? I did not even hear this story even develop, like, at all. We never heard any piece of news when it comes to Barcelona first contacting Wolves for Francisco Trincao. We have not heard Wolves contact Barcelona for this player. Like, there was no development. And I think that the main reason why we did not hear any development on this piece of news is because Joan Laporta is doing a great job on hiding any sort of drama, negotiations, anything that's going on behind doors. None of that is coming out into the media. And that is why all of a sudden we have heard an agreement between Wolves and FC Barcelona. But as for the deal itself, when it comes to this agreement, I am also not very surprised, because ever since we have heard the proposal coming from Barcelona, how they do want to propose 4 years with a 50% wage cut for Dembélé, it was quite clear that Barcelona do want to bet on Dembélé when it comes to the right wing position. And the other player that we could see next season, and that also shows many similarities to what Trincao is, it is Collado. Alex Collado could be breaking through in the next season. We have heard many times that he will be in the first team, he will be in the preseason, he's going to be heavily used in those first 2 or 3 months. It should be very exciting, because this is an academy player that has been praised so many times consistently through the academy, and many have been saying that his promotion into the first team is long overdue. But now we are finally getting it. Now we are finally starting to see that Barcelona do want to bet on 2 players, and that is going to be Dembélé and Alex Collado. Now let's sit on this just for a second, right? Because now we have to ask, is this going to be a real challenge for Dembélé? Is Collado actually the player that can push Dembélé into a different level? Because we do need competition in every position. We have seen that with Serginho Dest and Emerson. We are starting to see that with Barcelona wanting to buy another left back in order to compete with Jordi Alba. Now when it comes to this one, I do think that Alex Collado can bring the extra competition to Dembélé, because Collado is a right winger that brings more to the table on benefiting other players. Yes, Dembélé is a player that is very skillful, his pace is very present, he is able to take on players, but Alex Collado is also that player, and he is also a player that does like to come inside the field, create with the other players around him, and give his players the best possible position to score their goals. Alex Collado is that type of player, a very interior-like right winger. And it's quite funny to hear that Trincao is going to be going to Wolves, because we have seen many Portuguese players actually go to Wolves, and this is not the first time we have actually transferred a Portuguese player to that club. That other player was Nelson Semedo, and we did sell Semedo to Wolves for 40 million euros. And the only reason why Barcelona is able to negotiate such deals, and why we are starting to see a consistent thing of Portuguese players coming to Wolves, it is because of Jorge Mendes. Jorge Mendes is behind these crazy deals. And it does explain why Barcelona might potentially sell this player for 25 million euros, even though Trincao only played around 4 to 5 matches last season. So if Trincao does well, Wolves are going to want to maintain him and pay Barcelona the 25 million euros in the summer of 2022. Now many are going to be questioning, but wait a minute, if Trincao does well and he does very well at the EPL, why doesn't Barcelona bring him back? Well, here's the thing, if Collado and Dembele also do well, I do not think that it is going to be in Barcelona's idea to bring back Trincao when Dembele and Collado are bringing in a high level to Barcelona. So in the end, this is going to be the final conclusion. This is going to be a deal that will benefit all parties. The wage bill is going to be much lower because that is the goal coming from Joan Laporta and Mateo Alemán. Trincao is going to be seeing a lot of minutes because this is a player, like I said before, has a high level. He needs minutes to develop his game, and this is also going to give opportunities to players like Dembele and Alex Collado in that position. Moving on to the next piece of news, and we are going to be talking about Junior Firpo. Now, we finally do have our final details when it comes to Junior Firpo. We know that Barcelona and AC Milan were negotiating for this player. AC Milan were saying that we want a loan and potentially buy him in about 1 year. Barcelona were very hesitant on doing that because Barcelona wanted to sell Junior Firpo outright in this summer. And because of that, Leeds came in and says, we want to buy Junior Firpo and in this summer. And Barcelona did not hesitate on that proposal. And Junior Firpo did not also mind on either going to England or Italy. And that is why we are seeing the completion of Junior Firpo moving to Leeds. And it says here that Junior Firpo is currently in England as he prepares to complete a move to Leeds on a permanent deal for nearly 15 million euros. An official announcement is likely to take place next week, which is going to be within these next 6 to 7 days. So Junior Firpo is going to be sold. It has almost been made official for the past few days, and we have heard before that Barcelona were looking for a brand new left back that can compete with Jordi Alba. We have also heard that Alejandro Balde is in the plans in the preseason. Barcelona do want to move forward. They have options. I do wish Junior Firpo a lot of luck, and hopefully he does well at the Premier League. Now lastly, I do want to talk about Samuel Umtiti. Now this is where it does get very complicated, and I'm going to try my very best to explain what's actually going on here, because this could potentially be a saga in Barcelona. And the problem is going to be this: can Barcelona actually sell Umtiti in the summer? So before we go into greater detail on Umtiti's contract with Barcelona and what Barcelona wants to do with this player, I want you guys to remember two things as I read through these pieces of news. Number one, Umtiti is paid very well at Barcelona. And number two, Barcelona want to let go of these players. And those are going to be the two things to keep in mind as we do go through the rest of this video. So Barcelona have asked Samuel Umtiti to look for a different club because they do not bet on Umtiti next season. They do want to move forward with other center backs like Araujo, Mingueza, Eric Garcia, and also looking for a brand new center back. And at the same time, Barcelona is also studying the case of what would happen if we terminate the contract of Samuel Umtiti. Is there going to be any consequences? But as of now, Barcelona already asked Umtiti to look for a different club. That is the situation that we are in right now. And it says here, according to Fernando Polo, his priority remains to continue, but he knows that his position at the club isn't strong. He hasn't closed the doors on a loan deal. To consider a departure, he wants to be present with an attractive offer at a sporting level. So he is very well aware of his situation. But this is going to lead us towards the question: why is Barcelona so heavily studying the possibility of terminating the contract of this player? And so it says here, according to Juan Marti, Barcelona is studying the possibility of unilaterally terminating Umtiti's contract, who still doesn't want to leave. If the player doesn't do his part in finding a way out, like we have discussed before, Barcelona would consider a unilateral termination and the case would go then to FIFA. And this leads us towards another question: why go to FIFA? And Juan Marti has stated that if Barcelona actually terminate the contract, they could go to court for this because Barcelona's idea is to not pay the rest of Umtiti's wages, which is 16 million euros per season, which basically means that Barcelona are going to have to pay 32 million euros in total if they terminate the contract of this player. So if they do that, FIFA and the lawyers of Umtiti are going to be questioning, wait a minute, why do you want to terminate the player's contract when you owe him a total of 32 million euros? You promised us, because Umtiti signed the contract, that he's going to be staying at this club and that he's going to be receiving this amount in salary. If you do want to terminate the contract of our player, then you do owe us 32 million euros. And that is why Barcelona is studying this possibility. It is because they could get into a huge mess when terminating this contract. It's very complicated because terminating Umtiti's contract is very different to terminating the contract of Mateus Fernandes, because Umtiti is a World Cup winner, is a player that signed a contract knowing that Umtiti is a world-class player. So there is a lot of clauses attached to the contract, a high salary, many things that they have previously agreed on. And then it says here, according to Fernando Polo, the day Barcelona terminated Mateo's contract, Umtiti and Pjanic were also offered to be released by mutual consent, but Umtiti's priority is to stay at Barcelona and wants to convince Ronald Koeman. So this might potentially go into a huge saga. I have no idea what could go on. There is consequences if Barcelona do choose a certain route, but the one thing that I do highly suggest for Barcelona to do is to do everything in their power to find an agreement with Umtiti and not terminate the contract, to just find a mutual agreement. And do I believe that Barcelona could go to FIFA and have a strong case? Yes, I do think so. I do think that if Barcelona actually tell FIFA that, look, we were told by the Spanish Federation, Javier Tebas, that we need to lower our wage bill because it is not financially healthy for this club. Paying 16 million euros for one player every season is not in our plans. And many teams were affected by the pandemic, and we are one of those clubs. So I would say something like that. I do think that there is a strong case in the perspective from Barcelona, but that is going to be the final conclusion. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but whatever does happen in this case, it is going to be talked about here in this YouTube channel. But that's going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.